behind me is the brand new BMW X1. According to BMW, it's bigger and better in a lot of ways. Well, let's find out. This, of course, is the M Performance model, the entry-level one being the X line. This one costs 40,000 Rand more than the X line, and you get things like these updated bumpers, which look totally different, and at the back, the bumpers look different too. This model here is spec'd with 20-inch wheels, which are surprisingly comfortable. But one of the big party tricks is that it's lighter than before, even though it's bigger. The car's drag coefficient is 0.26, and that is thanks largely to these vents over here that close. And notice that this BMW grille, although big, isn't really as big as something like the 7 Series. So let's look at this interior. It's got the 10.25-inch touch screen in the middle of here, which extends all the way along the dash. Of course, you get a chunky BMW steering, but you do get some new buttons. The same layout as before, but slightly different look and feel. This version of the X1 comes with a Harman Kardon sound system with beautiful brushed aluminium finishes. Also has a panoramic sunroof that, unlike most other cars, opens and slides as well. The center console on the BMW is completely new, and although this opens, in my mind, the wrong way, I like everything else about it. You can rest your arm over here and get quick and easy access to the gear lever. You've also got volume controls here easily within reach, including the hazard button and the stop-start button as well. You also get USB-C chargers in front, 2 of them, and another 2 at the back as well. The heads-up display is clear and can be adjusted all the way up with no unsightly shadows to cause any distractions. Another little feature that I do like is the location of the wireless charger. It allows the phone to stand up straight, and although I don't encourage people to use their phones while driving, it does mean that if you want to use the on-your-phone navigation system, you can while charging. Having said that, the navigation on the car itself is very clever, and it integrates with the car's 360 camera to point you in the right direction when you come up to an intersection. Behind the wheel of the X1, and it feels a little bit like an X3. That's because this one is quite a bit bigger than the old model. In fact, you get about 50 extra liters of boot space because of the little growth spurt that the X1 finds itself with. This is the diesel version, and it makes 110 kilowatts and 360 Newton meters of torque. I specifically chose this one over the petrol version because I still think diesel, if you can get it, is the best and pick of the bunch. Behind the steering wheel are the paddle shifts. Not the biggest and probably not going to be used that much, but if you do overtaking maneuver, keep your finger on the left one. It goes into what's called boost mode, and you use all that 360 Newton meters of torque to overtake. You could get fuel consumption as low as 5.0 liters per 100. That means that a full tank, you can get over 800 kilometers. Another reason why these diesel cars are the ones to get. There is a lot to like about the BMW X1. It competes favorably with its rivals from Volvo, Audi and Mercedes, and even the X3. Whether or not you're willing to live with the fact that there are less buttons inside, well, that's for you to decide with a test drive. And also, if you're willing to live with the fact that you might down the line get billed for extra features that are already built in. For me, I am very glad that diesel cars are still being sold, and this diesel over here for this segment could be one of the best. For now, I'm gonna enjoy this low fuel consumption and see what adventure awaits in Pretoria. Cheers.
Welcome back to Ignition GT. Over the course of 3 generations, the BMW X1 has evolved from an awkward-looking, slightly uninspiring premium crossover into a stylish, thoroughly desirable compact SUV. You guys have driven this vehicle. What did you think? From the outside, it's nice. It looks nice, right?
Yeah.
It looks cool. It looks like a little meerkat. It's cute. I like it. It's very unorthodox, and I'm glad that they finally were like, you know what, let's cash in on this car, because compact SUVs are coming in, and they can't just rely on X3 anymore.
Yeah.
This had to get a revamp. They had to redo the whole thing just for them to be like, you know what, let's also make money from this thing. And even before launch, there are so many of them on the roads. And when we drove it, you get a decent amount of range in the 18i. You get about 600 to 700 kilometers of range. And it drives really nice. Noise insulation is good. It's a robust BMW. It's what BMW is known for. You know, it's like a X3 that's just a bit smaller in size. Yes, there are rivals such as the GLA and the XC40, but I think currently in this segment, it's dominating, especially in the premium segment. It's going to do very, very well.
You've also got the Tonale as well. That's also being added into this thing. And it's amazing because the X1 was always there. You know, it's one of those cars that has always been around, but it's a bit of an early adopter, but it was always a bit like, meh. It was a bit like,
I wouldn't say it was unpopular. A lot of people still bought the old X1, but now it's just gotten to the point where it's like you look at it and it's like this gorgeous slab of metal. And one of the things, the interior for me was the absolute highlight. And BMW pointed out to us, and we got to test it, the fact that this has most of the technology from the 7 Series in it.
Oh, wow.
So you get all of those intelligent driving features, automatic lane keep assist, like the list goes on, which I found absolutely amazing. And I also think it's very fitting that Reba is testing the EQA at the moment, because BMW did confirm to us that this will be available in fully electric.
Okay.
And when you climb inside, the way that they've orientated the cabin with a floating center console, screens on the dashboard, it almost feels like an electric car, because you don't get that sense of space where there's no transmission tunnel or anything in a normal conventional ICE motor. So I nearly feel as if BMW made this car first for electric and then went, oh guys, wait a second, we need to put an engine
in it.
But now tell me, 18i, 18D, I know you can only get the 18 range in this. I've read that the 18D is phenomenally better than the 18i. What did you guys think?
I think the D is a bit better because the I was a bit whiny on long stretches of road, but the range kind of made up for it. The diesel significantly quieter, better range, so I think people should opt for the 18D.
And in a lot of overtaking situations, the 18i felt quite laborious, whereas the 18D, the torque just kicks in and it goes. But that's also such an interesting one, because we were talking about price, and it's just under 800,000 Rand. And I personally enjoy the GLB in this segment. But is it even in this segment, because it's a bigger car? Like, what does it compete with? It's
I would have more GLA
and XC40.
But GLB, I really enjoyed that, because that came with the 250 motor, which has like GTI power, and everybody was like freaking out. Oh, it's over R1 million, but like. You get GTI
but I mean,
power.
this is significantly cheaper.
It is significantly
the person
cheaper.
who's looking at a GLB, it's R1 million. This is probably, and you know, M Sport is standard here now in SA.
End up at like
so it'll be
850.
significantly better for people to just opt for this and pay about 850 to 900K.
And for me now, I'm just thinking to myself, what is now top of the pops in the segment? What do you guys think is the leading vehicle? Is it going to be the best? What do you guys think?
I would say it is the cream of the crop at the moment. Because on VW side, you have T-Roc, so you can always say, okay, if a little bit cheaper. But Tonale and XC40, how on earth do you like even justify getting those cars over a BMW? It's so hard with brand perception. I would in a heartbeat, for me, because I like cars. I'll go and buy a Tonale. I think it looks beautiful. I like the hybrid. But the X1, in terms of the everyday consumer, is the winner for me.
It does make sense. It does make sense. I think, honestly, when I look at the features and specs that this car has gotten, I think they've really aimed it at a millennial audience. And I think these cars are really going to become the bread and butter, because who's got 2 million Rand for an X5 nowadays?
No one.
It's a really good looking car. Like, just looking at the rear there, it's stunning. It's got like XM elements in it.
Yes,
and
that's
that
very,
big
very
grille
true.
looks like an X7.
It's like a proper thing that you can enjoy from a road trip perspective.
Yeah.